Real life 40-year-old virgins, what's your story? I lost my virginity at age 40. I had opportunities but just didn't realize them at the time. Girls would come flirt with me but I would just freeze and my mind would go blank. I am very shy and quiet. I sometimes think I am autistic but I've never been diagnosed or tried to get diagnosed. I always thought something was wrong with me and I knew I wasn't normal. I also didn't drink a lot or party. I invited a coworker over to watch a movie one night and she is also very quiet and shy. I let her take the lead and let it happen. That was 2 years ago and we are engaged now. 42 here. I thought I had a date once, it wasn't. It sort of falls into 3 time periods. Age 17 to 25, I asked some girls/women out. They all just plain out said no except for the one. The last few years of the period, I stupidly started to ask why and because you was the top answer. Until the one went on in more detail and made me realize what because you meant and I gave up. I threw myself into my studies, researched anything that interested me, and just read a lot about a lot. Age 25 to 32, I just didn't try. Continued my self-studies. Sure, there were women I would love to ask out, there was even one I did, quite to my own surprise. Of course she said no and then some, but I was still me and they would have said no. I had a demanding/abusive job from age 28 to 30 that took everything from me. I joined a gym at 30. Age 32 now, I lost 97 pounds between age 30 and 32. Took up yoga and running. I think I noticed women noticing me but I had convinced myself women don't find me attractive, so I had to be imagining things. My workout routine has lessened since then and I have gained back some weight but thankfully more muscle than fat. I learned in my late 20s that I have a personality type that makes me hard to get to know, which means dating is particularly difficult. It was at this time I thought I was a high-functioning autist. I do have many, but not all, traits of one. I've never been good at social stuff so I have huge disadvantage in the sociality needed for dating. In the last 5 years or so, I began to wonder if I have social anxiety disorder instead of or maybe in addition to autism. And in all this time I've worked overnights, which adds another difficulty in dating. I get the idea that I'm the better than nothing guy but I don't want to be the last option for someone. I'd rather like a woman who wants to be with me and not has to be with someone. I also don't think it would be fair to burden a woman with my quirks and foibles that I've gotten over the years. Also, the social stigma of being over 40 and never even having a date seems like an obstacle in itself. A friend of mine is 39 and has never lost it. He's super religious, has had girlfriends, but never got married or anything, so he never has sex. Well, that's as far as I know. Maybe he has and is ashamed of it, maybe he's gay and is in the closet, maybe he's asexual, I don't know. Normal beer drinking, playing video games, going to bars, and travel the world sort of a guy, decent looking but not great. He's maybe a little out of shape but I wouldn't call it ugly. Thing is, he wants to be married before sex and also has super, weirdly high standards. Like now that he's his age he still won't settle for anything less than a Kate Upton that's ultra-Christian. I know someone who was 33. Lots of reasons, religious/strict upbringing meant no way to interact with the preferred gender until after high school. Overweight in college, which wasn't actually a problem for men finding her attractive, but it killed her own self-confidence so she never recognized when men hit on her. Hard investment banking career meant working all hours and getting much fatter so the cycle kept getting worse. Had lots of guys friends but never recognized anyone hitting in her. Finally got in shape, got confidence, lost virginity at weight she was in college when she thought she was fat. Ironic.
I'm in my mid-40s, female. I have a congenital condition that isn't really that disabling in terms of what I can do, but has meant I look very different from other women. Really fat from the way it disrupted my metabolism. Developed as a woman until around puberty, and then started developing about half and half male and female features. Also produced scarring and a general unwell appearance, greasy skin and hair falling out. Even with excellent grooming, you can imagine how sexually repulsive men have found me. So, here we are. I expect to live the rest of my life alone, of course. At this point, I'm so broken from bullying and isolation, that a relationship isn't even imaginable. Perhaps it's a blessing that my condition is associated with a shorter lifespan.
My brother is 39 and a virgin. Honestly? I think the reason is because he's disgusting. He never cleans and basically leaves trash everywhere. He's also morbidly obese and is a recluse. He rarely leaves the house unless he absolutely has to. He'll let things in his home go to absolute fucking shit. Don't even try to imagine his bathroom when he lived by himself. However, let's humanize him and try to understand him. He has a legitimate eating disorder, Was abused by his father, and has high-functioning autism. He's been depressed his entire life. He has incredible ideals. His general lack of cleanliness will never get in the way of his fervent desire to make sure nobody in his life ever goes hungry. He practically throws buckets of cash at other members of the family with kids because he gets emotionally invested in the kids' futures. He's very smart. He graduated high school at 15 with honors. He can talk about any obscure science or philosophy endlessly. He has a lopsided ego. He seems confident and secure depending on the subject, but in regards to his eating problem and body he hates himself and thinks he's disgusting. He never wants anybody to see him naked because he's deathly afraid of what they'll think. He's also deathly afraid of himself or what he might do in certain scenarios. For example, he got drunk for the first time when he was 35 because he was absolutely sure that he had a hidden and horrible violence that would come out. When he actually did get drunk it was fine. Nothing bad happened. He gets socially exhausted. He goes to the grocery store like twice a week and feels like he can't handle being around people at all for a couple days. It's been an exceedingly slow process to get him out there to try things. I even dropped acid with him just last year. We loved it. He's growing as a person, just at different starting lines and speeds from most people. I was deathly afraid of getting pregnant and ruining my life as a teen. Then at college sort of the same, and then dated a religious guy for many years. That ended badly and it took me a long time to get over it. Then a string of guys who I just wasn't into, and sex isn't something I want just to get it over with. Then I went back to school and focused on that and my new career and suddenly I'm 40 and never officially lost it. I'm 30. Fat. Otherwise unattractive, poor, and socially awkward. I work for an auto glass company and frequently go entire months without interacting with a woman within 10 years of my age that is not genetically related to me. I've fully accepted that I am going to die a virgin.